3, 2.
What do you get when you cross
Zeitgeist zealots.
with a giant jet airplane? A boring 747.
Hey everyone, welcome to Zeitgeist Zealots. I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
I'm Robby.
I am Tip.
Today we're going to talk about the finale of The Penguin. It was good. It was really good. I think everyone here enjoyed it.
Good. I'm sorry. What are these
Some things I didn't expect, and some
adjectives?
And some things I've been asking about like every episode.
I hated it. I mean, let's just spoilers. Full spoilers right off the bat. They killed Victor. I died. I was like,
I did not see that coming.
Didn't see it coming.
No.
I was like, is this how half the country felt on election
And
night?
now I
I'm dead
understand
inside.
that.
There's no hope. And
Now I understand that Twitter post.
the writing was so perfect because literally right before, like they're having that scene and they're having a really nice moment. He's like, I love you. You're like family.
Put
And
the
I'm
arms
like,
around him.
and I'm like, oh no, the Penguin, you f***ed up. DC, you done f***ed up. Like the next Batman 2, I go see. I'm not gonna be rooting for the Batman. I'm gonna be rooting for the Penguin. Like you guys did a terrible disservice by making this guy amazing.
And then they reminded you he's a villain.
And then you're like, yeah, right. Then you're like, oh, like back to that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 when he's killing all those puppies or whatever. You're like, oh, he's killing. I'm like, no, not my little Victor. All right, let's talk about this amazing episode. 9 out of 10 for me. What'd you guys think?
Oh yeah.
I think the only thing, some nitpicks before I forget to talk about them, would just be that I think like the whole, because Link turned on with the Dilau dude.
The Triad, leader.
Yeah, so like when they meet Sofia, and we already know what's going to happen. So like they could have done that better, like in the first episode, where like we think Penguin's about to be killed. That turns out, oh, it's a double cross. They turn on Sofia.
Oh, I knew they shouldn't have like Sofia.
Well, Link said that he was gonna help the Penguin. So like we all knew that he was gonna betray or help out.
I guess.
Sofia. So like the stakes.
Yeah, I missed that.
I mean, like, I heard all that dialogue, but like he's like giving a pep talk to Oz, but it doesn't mean Link's gonna betray the Triad. It doesn't mean every other underboss. Like goodbye, Danny Boy. He's gone. All of them rose up and
when they got to the airport. When they got to the airport, Link was on Oz's side, right? Like that was pretty obvious because he literally called Victor and said,
"But
like,
Victor
hey,
Victor could have been making a bad character choice." And then when Oz gets out of the courthouse, which we're going to talk about, we'll get to it, guys. But when Penguin gets out of the courthouse, Victor has disappeared. He's been kidnapped, So you don't really know what's happening. I mean, I guess as someone as astute as you, Forrest, they couldn't get anything past you. But me, a couple beers in, and after I flew with my 14-month-old for the first time, that was hell. I really enjoyed it. She didn't cry or make like a big scene, but we had like a layover. That was rough. Like she would not sleep, just keeping her entertained. It's trauma. Anyway.
I think we all want to scream and cry when we get a layover, like regardless what age you are.
You
could be an
That's an excellent.
That's like your baby.
The flight to Charlotte's been delayed 3 hours. Whee! That's literally what I do every time at the airport.
Just a little snippy tears.
Whee!
Flying out. But no tears for Sofia this episode. She did not die. Oz didn't kill her. At first, I was like, "What the fuck?" But then I was like, "Actually, that's pure comic book magic, right? They never, that's so Batman comics. Like the villains
they had
never
it all zoomed in.
Yeah, and then they always get sent back to Arkham at the end of the day to be recycled in the future.
Dude, going back in Arkham is worse than death for her.
Whatever, she got to go back to her boyfriend. What?
Julian can get her out. Julian can get her out anytime he wants. Like I think she can like leave anytime she wants since Julian works there.
Give her that D anytime he wants.
Yeah.
He's the D man.
You think she wants to go in there?
No, I don't think so. She looked very miserable.
I mean,
but confirmed.
I don't think she wants to, but I mean,
She
Julie
has a
can get her out
half-sister.
anytime she wants, though.
God,
So-
the worst facial hair. Just awful what they've done to him. Just put him back in his
Who?
Sons of Anarchy. Julian Rush. He looked much
He had facial
more. Oh, he had some kind of hair. He looked wild. I think he had facial hair. But
I mean, I don't remember it, but he was also in Luke Cage. He was Shades.
yeah,
Remember?
so he's been much
But
cooler
he always took
characters.
his-
I don't know why
he
he's
always
being
took
so
his-
creeper.
But he always took his glasses off in Luke Cage. It's like, why even call him Shades? They should just call him Shades some of the time, or Shades outside.
Luke Cage was such a great season. The first season was phenomenal. I really enjoyed the second season, but I know.
Season 2 was better than season 1 in my opinion because everyone didn't like the second half of season 1 because they thought Diamondback was too over the top and cartoony. But for someone like me,
Cartoony in
new,
a comic book show, yeah.
yeah, that's what I was
I
saying.
enjoyed it,
but I was
yeah.
I knew. But to be fair, Diamondback is the one in the comics who betrays Luke Cage and sends him to prison. Although we don't even see how he frames him. That would have been kind of important to see, but they were the writers were nah. I mean,
No, why would we do that?
miles away better than anything in Marvel has done.
Do you want to talk about the elephant in the room? Speaking of writers, we have a just awful coming to Jesus moment ahead of us now. We have been. I predicted after Endgame that Marvel was going to purposefully tank in quality to try to reset the palates of the fans because, how do you go up from Endgame, when you've got on your left and 4,000 portals open up and everyone from the last 25 movies, So you got to do a palate cleanser. But, oh my goodness, this was such a breath of fresh air. I forgot how damn good writing could be. I forgot how talented talent could actually be, especially coming after the Acolyte, and then you just dive right into the Penguin. And guys, this is
say a breath of fresh
spit.
air?
It's a breath of fresh air. It's a spit.
Well, no. They're
It
gonna
spits
say
on
a breath of
everything.
fresh air after Vic gets choked to death.
It's too soon.
Uh,
That hurts.
He would love to take a breath of fresh air. but he can't.
That hurts
Bad.
comes from Forrest. I'll never forget.
Somebody farted down his throat.
I'll never forget. Forrest knocked on my door one day, and I opened the door, and he goes, "Knock, knock," and I go, "Who's there?" And he goes, "Not Heath Ledger," and I was like, "Too soon." That's
Always too soon.
It was
Forever
right.
too soon.
Not Victor,
Dude, it was
not
it was like
Victor,
a
no.
week afterwards. It was so soon. It was so funny though. It was Forrest with that comedic timing, much
Back
like
working
much
at
like
Regal.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh
Force
yeah,
Murphy.
I definitely watched
Watching
that,
Dark Knight
Dark
multiple
Knight,
times.
I literally saw that movie 8 times in theaters that summer. It was that good. I don't think there's ever been a movie I've seen that many times in theaters.
when the tickets are free.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're gonna
I don't know. I might
free
have
fire us,
gone to see
Regal?
Infinity War. I might have gone to see Infinity War I think I at least saw it twice, but
Dun, dun.
I might have seen it
Dun, dun.
more than that if I could see it watch for free. But I can't think of a movie I'd want to watch that many times.
Oh yeah, such a good movie.
Gladiator 2 coming near you. Gladiator 2. I'll
Have
let
you
you
seen
pick
it
Blue.
yet?
No, I'm not gonna watch
Gladiator 2, Roman. What are you gonna do?
it. Roman
Hullabaloo.
Deuces on
Did it
you.
have a trans minority in the main role?
I mean,
Gladiator 2.
no, it's a black guy, but that might
They have Denzel
maybe
Washington in
be
it.
period accurate actually. So you came
Yeah,
really
that's-
upset.
I mean, it's not
It's like
that
some
bad.
people are like, "Oh, Netflix made Alexander
I can
the
dig it.
Great gay," and you're like, "Actually, guys, not to be like,
Yeah,
woke
that
or
guy was
whatever,
fucking
but
dudes, you know.
I'm pretty sure he was bisexual the whole time."
He was,
But you know what's
he was
wild?
banging countries.
People totally 100. Just a tangent for a second. We'll be right back to the Penguin. People 100% believe in Alexander the Great. And people are like, but maybe Jesus was around. And you're like, well, why don't you believe that? And not being religious, so we're talking historically. And they're like, because nothing was written about him until at least maybe 60 to 120 years after his death. All right, well, I'm sorry, but the closest piece of information we have about Alexander the Great was written 400 years after his death. 400 years. That's longer than America's been alive, right? Imagine just oral stories about Benjamin Franklin for 400 years, and then someone writes it down. You think that's gonna be accurate? Anyway, tangent, not tangent. Yeah. So
Ben Franklin left oral.
yes, who? I actually heard a great quote. Forrest is probably going to correct me on this. It's
Who said I am Benjamin Franklin? Who said that?
I think that was Miss Franklin. That was Mrs.
That
Franklin.
was John Hancock.
John
I was
Hancock.
the real
That was
Franklin.
Bill Hicks. Well, now I completely forgot. So anyway, back to the Penguin.
Well, I mean, you know, if
Can we talk about
if Oz wore glasses and had like long silver hair, he could look like Ben Franklin.
Oh, his hair was way more gray / silver this episode than any other episode before. I was like, did he just age like 10 years overnight? Like, are they trying to set up things for the Batman 2?
I guess we should
coming out
yeah.
October 2026.
Coming out when I think your daughter starts college, probably.
Probably.
Seems
I mean,
ridiculous.
according to the Colin Farrell, they haven't even seen the script yet. So
Yeah.
don't be surprised if this movie gets delayed again.
Well,
Subscribe
yeah, it's like they're
to
waiting
the
more than
channel
4 years to
and
release a
we'll cover
sequel,
it
which is
when we will.
always we're gonna lose interest. They really should like release a movie between a sequel like within 2 or 3 years of the original, because look what happened to Aquaman. It came out like what 4 or 5 years after the original one.
Yeah, no one
gave a
cares.
shit.
No one remembers it.
Captain
The
Marvel
momentum's
2 wasn't
gone.
even called Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
Bombed.
Miss Marvels.
Sin City came out. Sin City 2 came out I think 9 years after the first Sin
So
City.
what about
Nobody
that?
cared.
What
Bombed.
about Furiosa?
Which
So,
is
like,
sad because Sin City was fucking awesome.
Furiosa
First one was great.
So like Mad Max and then Mad Max Furiosa, like that was like a 15-year difference or something like that when they came out.
Yeah, I mean it was like, oh yeah, I mean.
So like,
that is
I feel like there's
but
a
yeah,
point where
definitely.
like, if you miss that first 3-year window, you gotta wait like 10 or 15 years to come out with a sequel. You can't do that awkward 7-year, 5-year gap. Like no one cares anymore.
Yeah,
The
you have to wait
Beetlejuice-
Cough,
Beetlejuice-
Star
Beetlejuice-
Wars. Cough,
Children
Star
old enough.
Wars.
Well, did Beetlejuice make a lot of money, or did that bomb?
No, I think it made money. No, it was profitable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Venom: The Last Dance came out like what 2 years after the last one, and it's making some money. So it sucks.
Oh, is it?
but
I heard it. I heard
definitely-
it bombed at the beginning. The opening.
It was
weekend
like
stuff.
it didn't do well in the U.S., but
Yeah.
it did well overseas.
Which is
Something
crazy
like-
because that was like the best one. Like, and I think I said on the podcast, I was like, this trailer looks great. Like, I want to go see this in theaters. I want to support this. Like, good for them for sticking through Venom 2, right? Like, we didn't need a Venom.
Well, Venom 2 made me like the first one a lot more because the first one was like way better than the second one.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Uh,
the fact that they greenlit a third movie after the second one, like, I just wanted to go and like support
Well, the
that.
second
like,
one made money because the second one was like one of the first movies that came out like after the pandemic had ended, and it was the first time seeing Carnage on screen. So
Circumstances.
like, I'm wondering if if Brave New World will make some money just because it has Red Hulk, not because like of anything else.
Oh yeah, I mean, people
last
want to go
Beetlejuice
see.
movie, 450 million. The last
I guess that's
Beetlejuice
good.
movie.
That's not bad. That's not a bad haul.
Wonder how much it
I would
cost
try-
them to make.
I was just like 400 million. Could I have some?
People want to see
Um,
Harrison Ford because we don't really know when it's going to be his last time and on screen. And what the last Harrison Ford movie was?
Oh,
Indiana
budget
Jones
was-
and the Dial of Destiny.
Budget was 147 million.
profitable. I
Okay,
told you,
that's not great. That's not
Whoa,
great.
they
then.
cleaned
I mean,
house.
we're making money.
I mean, yeah.
You can double it for
Well,
marketing
that-
and
maybe not-
advertising, but
yeah. So they probably didn't make a whole lot, but it probably made like didn't turn.
But it's still
But I don't think it
profitable.
made as
It's still more
Yeah.
money than
They made
Concord.
some millions.
Than we will ever make in our lives. Yeah.
It's like a lot of these movies do not need to be made for that much money. Like it's just like Hollywood just insists on having like
it's the
like,
inflation.
too much
it's too
CGI.
bloated. It's too bloated. Yeah.
Well, if they just insist on having CGI and like all these special effects, they could do like practically and save money. But like the Hollywood executives are just like set in their ways. It's like no, we have to have CGI and like balloon our budget
It's
way
fraud.
too much. And
It's
like
a
now we're
scam.
not making money. We're not making
You
our
know, the
money back.
most expensive actors. 'Cause
Yeah, that's true. Like inflate the budget with just like CGI and
or I mean, think about
these actors. I mean, and you think about like all these actors post MCU. Like Chris Evans, what's he done since Captain America? Nothing really. I mean, Chris Hemsworth, he's doing
He's
some
been in a
stuff,
couple
but
movies.
I mean,
thought.
he's
How
been,
long?
he's been in a
nothing
ton.
like,
have-
nothing
I
like
mean-
not box office.
What about Red One with
Okay,
The Rock?
fair.
No, but he's been in a ton of Netflix movies, right? With he was the douchebag in the Killing Murder Mystery.
How long till we have an AI created movie?
An AI Chris Evans.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm sure it's already on YouTube.
that's,
I'm sure it's
well, that's
terrible,
what,
but
what's
we're
his,
2
who's
years
the
away from
guy,
a great
Colin
one.
Kaepernick? Colin Kaepernick would, if it had his way, because he's making AI comics right now.
Are you sure? I thought he was still trying to get a job being a quarterback in the NFL.
No, that fell through. He's pretty much just put on this earth to piss people off. Just either with like playing bad football, making stupid political statements, trying to ruin the comic industry. You know?
Yeah, unlike Cam Newton over here, who's a big fan of Superman, selling $800 hats, fancy hats.
Hey, at least he's not O.J. Simpson.
I mean,
true.
you can
I
say
think-
that for
I
about
know, it
everyone
could be a
who's
lot
not
worse.
O.J.
He's a lot-
Simpson.
Hey, he
Guys,
was
speaking
excited.
of fancy top hats, we get to see at the very end of the episode a comic accurate penguin. Right? He's in the tux.
He didn't wear the top hat though. I was like,
But
oh,
he's
come on,
holding
wear
the top hat.
for, like,
He should have put the top hat on. And like
just like for half a second, just put it
His-
on. Like
his
just
mom-
watch him take it off.
his mom had the extended cigarette
Oh, yeah.
smoker at Monroe's. Oh,
I think
we'll
instead
get
of
to
a
it.
monocle,
Yeah, where is the
they
monocle?
could have done
It's coming.
they could have done a glass eye. They should have done a glass eye. That would have been like more, I guess, modern. Like he just lost an eye because he talked back
From
to
the
a boss or
explosion.
something.
Yeah, he's got some consequences, some comeuppance.
And like the
but
scar
no, he
could be like.
wins. He wins.
I was
this
kinda messed
whole
up.
thing.
I guess we should break it down in order. So like we find out that his mom knows that he killed his brothers way back in the day,
She found
And,
the flashlight.
which I mean he was
Oh,
a little
yeah.
weak, but I mean I think like that was
But
a
the
bit
mom
weak
knows.
for me to like believe.
Find out
But-
she knew the whole
But like
time.
once she said like the cops said that they were locked down there, I think that's when she knew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now the question is like, did he know that they were going to be locked down there, or did he just shut the door because he was like an angry little 9-year-old, or like
But
like,
he also didn't
thought
do
he locked
anything.
so like did
OJ.
I mean, there's a reason why I'm not defending him, of course, but there's a reason why we have like a juvie system. It's because, in the words of our our current Vice President Kamala Harris, late candidate. That's what I was saying. Anyway, they're stupid. Those kids are dumb at that age, right? And she's talking about 18 to 24, and we're talking about like 10 or 12-year-olds right
Yeah,
now.
you can't leave kids unsupervised. They'll kill each other. Did you read Lord of the Flies?
I mean, some of them. Lord of the Flies was so good. Go read that book. Sorry, I just had a flashback to Lord
One
of the
fly to
Flies.
rule them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't leave kids unsupervised. I guess especially. I mean, I guess like the older brother was.
No,
like,
but you
was
should.
older.
You should be able to. In this day and age, you should be able to leave your kids. Let them go play outside, right? Stop calling cops on parents who are letting their kids exercise or go play in the streets. Anyway, side note, that's not Crown Point, right? There's not a bliss operation happening under your literal feet that exploded, which sounds, so we're doing this in order. Oz is, we're doing a little red light regression therapy with Rush, and I really like how she's like halfway through the memory, and then like, they're just like they're like little side characters. They're like, they kind of stepped into the memory, and he's like, no, pay attention, focus back on the memory, and then walk us through it, and then that's how you get some emotional blackmail. But
That was kind of interesting how they did that.
I thought it was very good. One of my favorite parts overall, and let me know, Robby, if you caught this as well. But we see, even from a very early age, this man, Oz, the penguin, is talking himself out of death. And he doesn't even know it, right? Like, his mom has pre-planned with Rex. They're going to go out one last time, and then Rex is going to take Oz home and cap him, right? And unalive him for the YouTube speaks. And then, obviously that doesn't happen. And it's because he promises his mom the world with a really cute Boston accent. So, come on, Mom, I'm going to give you the world. I'm going to be on the top of the ladder. And, and
Was it Boston or was it more like Chicago?
Oh, was it Chicago? Maybe, I don't know. I'm so
I
bad
don't
at
know.
accents. But he Smooth
Steve
talks his
Ross.
way out of it, and I was like, that's so classic Penguin. Like I love that little touch there because we get to see that even from an early age, even without him knowing it, he's been smooth talking his way out of death, which we've seen this whole episode. So,
Since
I
episode
like that.
1.
Basically, yeah. So wait, we find out what happens next. I think like does he wake up in the club where his mom was going to kill him, or at least
Yeah.
they were dancing.
Where they went the last time, yeah, club member.
Oh well, Julian Rush is using like the Knight Rider flashlight or light thing, to, like help her remember.
Yeah, the red light
Was
therapy.
that weird red? Yeah, it looks like a kit from Knight Rider. Hello, Michael. So that was interesting. But yeah, I thought they definitely made him useful in the last few episodes.
Definitely. Still a cuck.
So,
Still an
man.
awful character, but
You really see
Well,
how
he's not. Well, she's not.
he's
sleeping with
definitely
anyone.
gonna be in Batman too.
Yeah, so I think his mom tells him that she knows that he killed his brothers,
Which
and
can
he
you
denies it.
imagine
So he,
doing
you know,
that? Yeah. In which you gotta you have
Oh,
to.
dude, she really,
What do you
Sophia
say?
really
You
messed
gotta-
with him, like, psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and like, you would have let me do it, wouldn't you? She had her pinky.
Right.
Had
she
his
was gonna
mom's
cut
pinky
off,
there.
She was gonna cut off the same finger.
I mean,
from,
would've let me do it.
Alberto.
he only would have let her do it 10 times. You know,
It's like he-
then he probably would have.
No,
It's like he's just
right.
okay. I
talked it-
killed him.
It's like he's mentally blocked that out or something.
Yeah,
Or
lied
he's
to-
just a really good liar.
He's lied to well, he's such a good liar. He's lied to himself for so long. Like that's definitely like I mean, because like you can't.
So wait, if
You
you're
have to
telling, if you're telling
rationalize
me
it
if I lie to myself that I'm a rock star for long enough, I will become one.
No, but you will think you're a rock star if you lie to yourself long enough. Does that make sense? But fake it till you make it.
Okay, that's all I want.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to be a rock star. You can just
Oh,
lie to
man.
yourself long enough until you think you're a rock star, and probably the second John Lennon.
But that's like that's pretty much what really breaks Oz. That's the last thing he hears from his mom, and he can't hear from her again.
Dude, that's such a powerful
Like,
scene.
we're not having potatoes tonight.
And especially,
Oh man!
especially when he wins it all at the end. And
Oh
he's
dude,
like,
and he,
come
and
on,
he
Ma,
can't
be
he
proud
can't
of
get
me.
it from his mom.
Be proud
Because
of
that's
me.
like- That's all he wants from his mom right there.
And like, dude,
Yes.
so flashback a couple episodes ago, if you don't remember, his mom makes him promise that if she becomes a vegetable, that that Oz will let her die.
Yeah,
He's
no,
not.
yeah.
Penguin like escapes. Does he break his hand or how's
Oh,
he
yeah,
escape? He just like
we were talking about his mom. It was like the last words from his mom before she hit the ground.
just like I'm ashamed that you're my son or something like that. Like
Oh yeah, some harsh stuff,
You-
like stuff
you were-
she's
you
been
were-
wanting to get out.
Mm-hmm.
you were
Get
a
it off
butt-
that
you were a
chest.
you were a butt baby. You came on my butt. not
She's
my
been-
vagina, or something like that.
She's been just pretending.
Like that's a harsh thing to say to a child.
But that child also killed your two favorite boys. Like
No,
he
just
was
say to a
definitely.
child, they're a butt baby. They're a butt baby. not
You're
vagina
a
baby.
butt baby. Comment down
Poop you
below
out.
if you actually remember this or if I'm a crazy person. But I could have sworn to goodness that on YouTube there was an SNL sketch where The Rock was butt pregnant.
A butt baby.
Yeah, he had a
Okay.
butt baby. But
I
it
just
has
remember he
been
made the child molesting
it has been
robot, and that was, like, a little
removed.
too far.
It's been completely removed off of YouTube. So
But the molesting robot's still on there.
I mean, yeah.
What he did?
I don't know.
Stays, but the
Oh,
the
yes.
butt baby one is
Oh, the molesting robot's one of the funniest, most
like the worst ones
yeah,
ever. It's
most
just, how did they get away
hated.
with
Yeah, it's like one of the funniest, most hated sketches ever.
Tough like SNL skit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've only seen 3 SNL skits because they're all terrible.
Ah, look at you. More cowbell, please.
That's one of the good ones. That one's good. And then
Not to get off topic, but I just saw Will Ferrell's Strays with Jamie Foxx. Waste of fucking time. There's a couple of highlights, a couple of funny moments that I'm sure someone's made a compilation and put on
he's
YouTube.
basically just in paycheck. He's in the paycheck mode of his career at this point.
For sure.
He's like, you'll give me $4 million to like do the voice for a dog for like 3 days work. Yeah.
To be honest, like as an artist, as an auteur, you watch Talladega Nights and you're like, that's probably peak. Like, if I was Will Ferrell and I watched Talladega Nights, I'd probably be like, that's the funniest I'll ever be in my entire life.
Yeah, because Step Brothers wasn't that great, was it?
Step Brothers was great, but it was so gimmicky, right? Like,
a little bit.
But like you would rank they got like it was Anchorman's in the top tier, then Talladega Nights, then like below that Step Brothers, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'd
say that's the top 3. Yeah.
And then he made that one like The Other Guys with Mark Wahlberg, which I think everyone just forgot about.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite movie, but I don't really call that a Will Ferrell movie. That's more of a Mark Wahlberg.
But it's Will Ferrell.
Elf is every girl's favorite movie. I mean, so yes, he was so good back in the day. I guess the woke mind virus just got to him. What can we say?
He just kind of like disappeared because he did like what was it, Daddy's Home, or what's the one where like
Daddy's Home, and then you made another one. Daddy's Home 2. That was
with Mel Gibson.
There's a funny scene when they're talking about the thermostat when Mel Gibson's daughter or stepdaughter, I don't know, I've only seen this scene, but like turns the thermostat down and all the dads are like, what's going on? They're all freezing or whatever. They're like, you let your kids like touch the thermostat, and just like it's so nostalgic, babe, because it reminds me of like my dad being like, don't touch the thermostat growing up.
Well, that was on Family Guy too. Like they literally like touch it like for a second, and like Peter bursts the door like, "Which thermostat?"
Right. It's such a trope.
Have you seen that clip from Tiger King where Joe Exotic goes like, "I will never financially recover from this," and then like in the comment section it says, "Every dad whenever someone touches the thermostat."
That's pretty great. So speaking of pretty great, Matt, thoughts? I have been waiting all week to hear your thoughts on this finale.
I've literally been waiting all week. Literally.
So first of all, I have to apologize because my drunk ass Sunday night was texting Major.
Spoilers, yeah.
The whole plot because I thought he was watching it along with me.
No.
So podcast. I literally just said, and he didn't say like, "Shut up, Matt, I'm not watching it." He just was like, "Yeah, cool, great idea." So I kept going and going and going, and it wasn't until like 3 days later.
They should do that. Yeah, and then you're like, "Oh wait, that's what they really did."
So, overall thoughts on the episode. I'm frustrated because I was expecting more, and I really feel like the last 2 episodes went out with a whimper compared to how it came in. So.
What? All of the underbosses killed the bosses. There is a whole
Godfather
mutiny.
Style.
And you're telling me you're underimpressed? Is that because there was no Batman?
They pulled a little T.S. Eliot, baby.
We got the bat signal, cool, and we got Catwoman.
I've been asking. What have I asked like every episode, every podcast
Where
episode?
is
like,
the Batman?
Are they gonna do any kind of like background reference or something? And they waited till literally the last seconds of the series.
Yeah, that was pretty cool though, because I was like, oh my god, they did it! Like when I saw that.
Last episode, I said, it's going to end with either Batman in the shadows overlooking the city, or the bat signal. It feels like the same way to kind of do that.
That was a good way to do it.
Right.
I liked it.
They don't spend money on costume.
Did you also notice that he's talking about how like Oz, the city's yours now. You've got no obstacles ahead of you. Boom, bat signal just pops up. And you're sounds like you do have one obstacle ahead of you, the Batman. But
high cholesterol.
So, Matt, one of my biggest complaints about this, up until the point where he choked Victor out, R.I.P., was that the show was too good.
And
this show is a spin-off of it's a comic book show. It's a spin-off of a mediocre Batman movie. And it's some of the best writing that we've enjoyed in years. And I was like, oh no, I'm not even going to like, look, I've got a big Batman painting behind me, right? But on Batman 2, I'm not going to be pulling for Batman. I'm going to be pulling for Oz. And then he chokes Victor out. And I was like, that son of a bitch, dude. I'm going to kill Victor. I'm going to kill Oz myself. I'm going to dress up. I'm like, oh, he's going to get
Vic. You're messing with all of us.
The saddest part about all this, though, is that they've already come out and confirmed essentially there will be no season 2.
Oh, no.
However,
it's in talks now.
So they're saying that, you know, what they want to do instead, specifically of the Penguin, is introduce these minor villains or major villains, I feel, in a TV, like one, you know, season TV arcs and lead it into the movies that come out, which I kind of like because that's kind of what Marvel does. But I think this did it way better than what Marvel's done in the past. This is better than Iron Falcon and Winter Dude and
This is Game of Thrones
all those
level.
other ones.
Early Game of Thrones level.
Yeah, I mean, this was even better than Loki, I feel, at least season 2.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, Matt, that's a great point, and you actually excellent lead into my next question. So, guys, who do you want to see next to get the Penguin treatment? Comment down below. I know Forrest is going to say Calendar Man, so we'll start with Forrest.
Crazy quilt. Crazy quilt.
You know, I would love to see.
Who do you want to see get the Penguin treatment?
so Gotham, as we all know, is kind of like New York, right? And
yes,
you know, what would be really funny
In
would be to
Chicago.
see like a really wild, maniacal real estate agent or realtor, you know, real estate mogul as like
Trump.
Batman. Yeah,
No.
that's all I was thinking. It's like,
Get your
Trump.
goddamn politics. I swear to God, if
like this like evil, conniving real estate mogul who you know, kicks poor tenants out.
Go watch Wonder Woman.
How funny would that be?
1984. Because that was like a Trump allegory. No, dude, I would be so thoroughly unimpressed if Batman's
They've made
next
so
villain.
many anti-Trump allegories in Hollywood in the last couple of years.
I mean, hey, look, the Joker
So
2
many.
shit all over itself and its fans. So I'm not saying Tip's idea is impossible.
Do you know back in like '86, like when John Byrne was rebooting Superman for DC, he based his version of Lex Luthor off Trump in the '80s.
Really?
And then like later Luthor became president in the comics, and then like Trump became president. Much
Oh my
later,
God.
So
It's the
comics are
Simpsons.
prophetic. Yeah.
It's just
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons. So, Matt, who do you want
Nature,
to
to
see?
answer kind of your question, so I'm kind of afraid because I've been doing my research. I'm kind of afraid the movie's gonna do this, but I would love to see a season of the Court of Owls storyline.
I knew it. That was my
I have a
owl.
feeling-
These are my owl eyes.
Yeah. I have a feeling Batman
Yo.
2 is going to completely pass over Penguin and
That's a good
Catwoman
idea.
and do Court of Owls for the movie. But I
That's
would
what I
rather see
felt.
that as an 8-episode season than a 3-hour movie.
Especially if it has 4 endings again. God, that was so disconjointed. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, much like the Eternals, I would actually rather see this in streaming than in a movie format. Robby, which Batman
The Court of
villain?
Owls is a great allegory against all those motherfuckers who were
Illuminati.
part of
The Illuminati.
you know, George Bush, Barack Obama,
the Rothschilds.
Clintons, the Rothschilds.
Although at first, the way it was first introduced, I was like personally offended. I was like, I'm sorry, you're telling me Batman's been around just like a decade fighting crime, and he's just never heard of the secret Gotham Illuminati that founded this fucking like city? Get out of here! But I have since digressed, and the recent iterations of the Court of Owls, they've moved it much earlier in the timeline. Usually it's like after year 1 now, and I much more appreciate that. I would love, I mean, no, obviously I want to see more of the Penguin. Give me more of the Penguin. But if I had to choose between the Penguin and Court of Owls for the Batman 2, I don't know. Comment down below. I actually have no. God, I've fallen in love with Oz Cobb, right? And Colin Farrell's so good in this.
Or how about
the writing's
instead
so
of
great.
another a series focusing on a villain, how about like a series focused on
Robin?
Batgirl. Batgirl, because I think in the comics, at least like Batgirl Year One, she's sort of like a female Kick-Ass, or she's just a Batman fangirl.
Yeah.
Because Batman he's in way over her head.
They're like, yes,
Dude,
we
yes.
we
Such a good
filmed
idea.
an entire Batgirl movie, but we're not going to show anyone for tax credits. But sure, we'll give her a TV series now. It failed on the
make those shows
CW.
juicy.
She's a big
Make those
Batman
shows
fan.
juicy.
Her dad's commissioner, but she won't let her be a cop. So she's just.
But like, no one even knows about Batman yet. It's still year one. This is like the Penguin happened like a week after Batman happened, the movie. Right? Dumb.
People knew Batman.
He's still
So
going as
I see what you're
Bat
saying,
Demon.
but maybe like 5 years. I can see that, but like we gotta let Batman breathe. We gotta get some villains. I would love to see. Thanks for asking, guys. I really appreciate it.
What would you like to see, Major?
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Since Victor's dead now, he's clearly not Victor Freeze. So I would love to see a Dr. Freeze adaptation, right? Where you see 8 to 10 episodes where like an entire episode dedicated to his backstory where he falls in love with Nora and you fall in love with Nora. And like by the end of the episode, she's like on her deathbed and he has to cryognically freeze her. And like by the end of this episode, you're
Is it
on
young
fucking
Arnold?
fries, right? Yo, my. Hey, Arnold's son's acting. What the fuck is Arnold's son doing? Why isn't he in Marvel? Let's get him in DC. Let's go. What is he doing?
Probably
Yeah,
having
that's
sex with a lot of supermodels.
Christopher
unfortunate part
Schwarzenegger,
about
Patrick
all this
Schwarzenegger.
stuff.
I'll take any of them. Hey, I'll take Arnold Palmer's dick. Apparently, it's huge. You know, maybe that'll be the next big box office hit.
The
Oh, yeah, I heard
unfortunate
that.
part about all of this, though, is we all know who's going to be in the next season.
Donald Trump.
And it's
It's
definitely
Selena Kyle.
they've already built him up in the background, but it's going to be Scarecrow.
But who is Scarecrow? Is it Dr. Rush?
It's definitely what's his name, creepy guy there. But now that especially Gigante's in jail, she's pretty much sidelined for the movie.
Gigante.
You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna bring in Catwoman for the movie, and then Scarecrow can go back to Arkham Asylum and slowly start manipulating people and developing his gas. And there you go, 8 hours of Scarecrow being really super creepy.
God, but I'm not a big fan of him in this. I think he was the worst part of the TV show. I don't see 8 hours of him. Don't do it, HBO, because we'll have to cover it, so I'll have to watch it. But please, I'm begging you, don't. Comment down below, guys.
He's a compelling, because he uses chemical warfare and hallucinogenics. I feel like that's kind of cool.
They could make him compelling. He has the potential to be compelling, but
He's like a drug dealer.
But right now, he's just a cuck to a Gigante, right? He's like, oh, I remember he gets tied up.
I think you mean simp. He's not a cuck.
Oh,
Because
correct.
he's
Sorry,
only
he's
a
a
cuck.
simp. Yeah, that's right.
He's only a cuck if like she's sleeping with other dudes and he doesn't care.
You're correct.
We know this.
But he
And
gives
this
off
is
big
what we're
cuck.
covering on the
He
podcast.
gives off big cuck vibes. Yeah, I'm sure all this will be censored and or not. That'll be fun. Final
yes, what
thoughts
else happened?
on the
Final thought.
that's pretty much the I want to say as we head into our final thoughts, talking about the final shots of the season, he gets the Penguin Oz gets a purple Rolls Royce. So my Joker car theory is back
I
on
got
the
one of
table, guys. I thought after the Maserati got smashed that my Joker theory about that's how the Joker gets his purple car, thought that was going to be ruined. But new purple car, theory's back on the table. Because, I mean, the Joker has been confirmed from, Batman deleted scenes and the Batman post-credit scene or whatever.
So I guess they just didn't have the budget to like get any good cameos. We saw like the mayor lady from the movie.
Who knew? Bella Real? Yeah. So, yeah, I was like, wow, one
Which
cameo
is the most-
from the movie, yeah.
She's
got like a little cast in
fake-
her arms in the
most
cast.
fake. Oh, I guess you're like what a silly name. Like doesn't even sound like an actual name for someone. Real, like she's a real.
Yeah, what are
person
you,
to
Real Madrid? But
Yeah.
that
You are.
scene when the Penguin goes to the city hall and he's talking to the councilman and he gives this speech, he spins such a web, this narrative of what's happened this past season, but he like frames it differently, and it's like, you know, it's not him who set Miss Maroney on fire with her son. It was Sofia. And he's like, but you can say it like this, and you can come out to be like a hero. Like, he clearly, from the last episode, from that explosion, has completely lost the bliss industry. All the mushrooms are dead and gone. They've been exploded. So he switched over
Blew that place up.
to politics now. And I mean, to be honest, guys, I don't know which business is dirtier. Am I right, guys? Am I right?
No, the mushroom industry is like,
Blitz or politics.
dude, do you know people who sell mushrooms? They are not in it for the money. If you know anybody who like grows mushrooms and like is trying to spread psilocybin love, they're not making money, dude. You can buy a shitload of mushrooms for super cheap. They're just like, I kind of want to, remake my investments so that I can continue to grow mushrooms.
Do you guys remember
If you know people,
If you know people. Do you guys remember
I'm just saying.
that episode on Joe Rogan when he was interviewing that portobello mushroom guy, and he was asking about the mushrooms, and the guy got really serious, and he was like, "If I answered that, my life would be at risk." And then Joe Rogan's like, "Whoa, all right, never mind." And it's just like it's a classic clip. It's so good.
The Miller mushroom guy.
Yo, I was eating some shiitake mushrooms that I grew the other night, and I realized I ate $25 worth of shiitake mushrooms in a single omelet.
Hey, you grew yourself. That sounds like a good omelet.
That's a good investment.
But I was at the store the other day, and I saw 2 shiitake mushrooms sitting in a box for $4.98. And I was like, two of these
spicy?
guys. I just harvested like a bunch. You know what I mean? And I dehydrated a whole bunch, and I actually lost a lot because of the rain.
Oh no!
And so apparently I lost like over $100 worth of mushrooms just because of Hurricane Helene.
Damn.
So I was going to write into FEMA.
I was like, dear FEMA.
Into your own shroom business.
Hey, do you guys remember when those vegan vegetarians tried to trick us into thinking portobello mushrooms were like steak replacements? Do you guys remember that? Like during the pandemic and like the year before or after that or whatever? They're like, no, you don't need steak. Like they have like portobello mushroom steaks. We just cooked them.
No.
It was a terrible.
My favorite show is Guys Grocery Games. I hate to admit it, but they always have like vegan challenges, and it's always the portobello mushrooms. And you're like, no, that does not look appetizing. Usually, I'm watching that show and salivating, but you're like, no, man, no.
I love mushrooms, but I'm not replacing my steak.
Are dope. Not gonna lie, shiitake mushrooms are actually pretty dope. They're a lot thicker. They're chewy.
Yeah, just like a well done steak, like a ill prepared steak. That's
the thing is, steak has a bunch of protein, whereas mushrooms do not.
Yummy.
So energy-wise, you're not going to get as much, but mushrooms do help with they have micronutrients that are good for you.
Yeah.
And that's our mushroom side quest part of the episode.
Yes, thank you for this Bliss chat. Come back next season where we'll have a new drug and a new horticulture expert. Horticulture expert.
Yeah, what else is coming out? I guess Dune
Prophecy. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now because we will be covering
What's it on?
Dune Prophecy on HBO Max. The service formerly known as HBO Max. Yeah, just Max now.
Max.
That'll be coming out. So subscribe. We'll have that out for you next week as well. We really appreciate you guys. If you have any other suggestions, what do you think about the Penguin? This is the best writing we've had in years. I mean, I have to go back to like Fargo, early Game of Thrones, early Lost to think about writing that's this complex and this moving and this motivating, this good. And it's like, damn. So like, all right, I'll leave you this final thought. Tell me what you guys think. And then we'll go around the table with your final thoughts. I think the smartest thing Marvel could have done is the day, like Monday, the day after this finale dropped, press release, Marvel, MCU, Disney hires the writer from this show. right? Hires all the writers from this show, either for Marvel or for Star Wars. But that would have significantly helped the stock price, and that would have like given a big old jab in the arm for like fans. And like, I hesitate about Star Wars because so many people get offered Star Wars jobs and then they get fired before the product even comes close to becoming out. But that's really like what happened here. Great writing. All right, let's rekindle the magic. All right, let's capture lightning in a bottle. This can't be that hard. Fucking give him a season 2. Fucking give him some more paper. Let him keep writing scripts. Let's see what happens. It's been such a long time since I sat down and just really enjoyed television and enjoyed talking about it with you guys. Right? Most of the fun comes from ragging on the show. With good writing comes great responsibility. Like a second season.
Most of our stuff, we're just like making fun of the show or talking about how bad it is. And I think the worst thing we talked about in Penguin was that ladder, and there was something else. I forgot what it was. Oh, how the hell did he escape Arkham? Just finding some keys.
Yeah, he's like,
oh, Blackgate. It was Blackgate, not Arkham.
They just cut to him being
Blackgate.
You just had to figure out, guess how he got out of there.
Also, Oz must have been driving a Tesla. Otherwise, she would have heard him drive away. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, he did disappear pretty quietly.
Did that original Prius.
I guess the cops weren't in on it because. Also,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. But in the councilman he was talking to, I think his name was Sebastian Haiti. He's apparently a character in the comics who does become mayor, and surprise, surprise, he's corrupt. Ooh. So I'm wondering if he's going to become like the mayor in like the sequel.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just had a mayor get elected, so it probably won't be this election season. But she'll probably, one of Penguin's fans, not us, of course, but one of Penguin's fans, not Penguin, the Riddler.
Penguin's only fans.
One of the Riddler's fans would probably call her a DEI hire, and she will probably be lax on crime.
DSSJSSINATED.
Oh yeah, that too, and then we'll have a new mayor in no time. I'm sure Harvey Dent is gonna show up, guys. I don't care about. I've already seen. I thought Batman the Caped Crusader was enough of a Two-Face origin for me, right? Spread out over multiple episodes.
Ooh.
I want to see Dr. Freeze's origin story portrayed as beautiful as Oz's. And I liked how it wasn't canonical or chronological, right? I like how fucking episode 1 wasn't him as a kid. Like, this was much better. This was such smooth storytelling. I thoroughly enjoyed every episode. And I'm going to rewatch the series. That's just a fact. It's going to be the first one. I'm going to get past the intro. Yeah, suck it, Rings of Power. Final thoughts, Robby?
I think we covered a lot of.
Yeah? Do you want a second season?
I kind of like how they ended it. I mean, I guess they could do something that leads into him becoming just full on the Penguin versus Batman kind of thing. Something. I'm not sure what all they do with the second one. He's gotten to like his broken Penguin state now.
Right now, he's a politician.
Because that was kind of the point of it, is see like the whole background of the Penguin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which they did pretty well. My opinion.
I thought they did great, right? And now we don't have to waste fucking Batman 2 movie time, right? It's not going to be a 3-hour movie because one of the hours is watching the Penguin climb up the ranks or whatever, right? Like, we have to see this beautiful story.
Ladder.
Exactly. We have to see this beautiful story take place, and now it's not going to...
And you find out you can't climb up the ladder.
Yeah, right. He's got punny. Very punny. I get it now at the club foot. Very funny. No, I didn't catch it. That was very funny. That was good. Forrest, final thoughts as we head into Dune Prophecy. Final thoughts on the whole series.
Yeah, this was a impressive show, and really enjoyed it. I mean, definitely I mean, it's been like what, almost like 3 years since the actual Batman movie came out that it's a spinoff of. So it's nice that they're like release something in relation to that movie. I hopefully the next movie. Yeah, because it doesn't seem like the next movie is gonna come out until like 2026, and that's like what 2, 3, 4, like a 4-year gap between films, as we all know, is like a death nail, and people's attention span is short. So yeah, I mean, hopefully this will keep interest and buzz in the Matt Reeves Batman world, and looking forward to more from this world. Yeah.
Fantastic. Matthew, final thoughts before we head out for the night. Make sure to hit subscribe and comment down below what you think about the season.
So, love the season. My only complaint is it was such great writing. I expected a little bit more out of the ending. I'm like frustrated, but still satisfied. But what I love is DC is now doing what Marvel has been doing for years, and they've almost perfected it in this one season, and that's using the series. Using these series for the expo dumps and the backstory, so that way when we get to the movies, we already know where we're going.
Yes.
And Marvel's been doing it for years, but they've been doing it horribly these last few years with Invasion and Winter Guy and all these other shows that are just fail after fail after fail. Where we have expo dumps on planes where we explain whole backstories. This was explaining a backstory, and I can totally buy this leading straight into the next movie. And so, good job, DC. Also, bring back Peacemaker.
Yes.
I think it's coming out next year.
Let's go. And final thoughts. Last but not least, tippers. You, of course, notoriously have not seen the season, but you got to listen.
Or almost any shows that we have discussed on this podcast.
Right, but you're here for the mushroom talk, and you've heard us talk about.
I chime in when it is necessary.
So I want to get your thoughts as someone who hasn't watched the series yet, but you've heard about every episode. What do you think?
Absolutely, it's almost as if I've watched it.
You want to dive into this? Would you recommend it for other people who haven't watched it either?
Listen, I think if you're interested in something that's dark, gritty, and that really draws your attention into like an anti-hero that has a little bit of gray in him. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of yin and yang going on in this storyline. And I think that's important to recognize that even people that we think are evil have a yin and a yang. Yeah, they might be more on the yang side over there. But that's okay because there's a little bit of yin in them. And I think recognizing that in all people helps us to like recognize the judgmentalism that's ingrained in our human spirits and to break free of that bondage of thought. So seeing that like the Penguin isn't all good, or isn't all bad rather, but he's got like this little spark that he's like, yeah, maybe it's selfishly motivated, but he's gonna do something that is unexpected.
Bear in mind, Pip hasn't seen a single episode of this, but I think you're hitting the nail on the head.
He really is.
But I think what we really should do is someone should give Tip their Max password so we can watch this amazing show, so we can actually like give an opinion on it.
Especially because we're going to be covering.
What I've heard, and this is my role in the podcast. Usually is an objective observer, somebody who has not seen anything, then can comment on the commentary. So it's almost like a secondary opinion, court case. So it has very little validity.
Who has not looked at any evidence?
And I love your role, Tip, but I'm telling you right now, Dune Prophecy, Creature Commandos is coming out. We gotta get you this Max subscription so you can enjoy this great television.
I'm probably just gonna buy a Max subscription, but never Disney. Fuck Disney.
Hey, if you guys could do us a favor, go ahead and subscribe. If we get enough subscribers, maybe the podcast can one day afford for Tip to get an ads.
All we need to earn is $7.99 a month.
Don't worry. We have the
quite
fiscal
frankly,
responsibility of Elon Musk at the head of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency.
Official name now.
So we do have lower taxes ahead means
Doge is like
really
Dogecoin's like 40 cents.
Because nothing says government efficiency by assigning two people to do the same job to do something that Congress already has the power to do.
I thought it would be
it?
really funny if Elon day one
fires so
Vivek.
different than everybody.
What if Elon day one fires Vivek?
He's not like anybody ever.
What if Elon fires Vivek?
I think that's
the first
the best
day
move that he could possibly
That'd be
do,
the funniest thing in the
him.
world. It's just like, hey,
No,
we need two people to fire people. We need one person. Me. Vivek, you're fired. Like, that'd be such a great stunt. And then you put Vivek in, like, I don't know, the Department of Education.
I think he's going to do that.
And let him just fucking get all the woke shit out of our education system. I don't know.
And he's not even taking a paycheck. So. God
bless him. But also, come on, Elon, we need more taxes.
Elon, I used to not like him back in 2017. And all of a sudden, it was pre-pandemic, but I had this realization that, oh shit, this is the guy who's going to be the dude who funds the asteroid mining that I dreamed of when I was like 20 years old. And me and my buddies were like getting high in a closet, and we were like, oh yeah, man, dude, imagine the wealth that could be unlocked for all of humanity if they just fucking mined an asteroid that had gold deposits that could basically build all the supercomputers we could ever dream of. Right? It would tank. Like, you understand what finding a giant mineral deposit in outer space would mean.
I mean,
if they found platinum by the thousands of tons, first of all, that represents trillions of dollars in Earth's money. But all of a sudden, you break Earth economy because you have resources from outside. And so it's almost like trade, but without having to trade back. And so you generate so much wealth that it's like undeniable. Like, every citizen will be extremely well off. We'll have awesome places to live. We won't have to worry about bills. We'll never think about bills. And so we'll be unburdened from this, like, every month you pay bills. But this is the thing, though. In order to get there, you have to basically unchain private enterprises like SpaceX, basically lowering their taxes so that they can afford to grow. So you have to unchain private enterprise in order to get there. And once we are there, all of a sudden things change again. It's not like it's forever.
Inflation.
Inflation will be a thing of the past, because
it'll be
unlimited.
Wait a second.
No, that's the thing, Matt. Once unlimited wealth is unlocked via like mineral mining, it is going to generate such a confluence of wealth that nobody will pay bills again. I think that we will be like basically removed from those responsibilities that are always dragging us down, so that we can focus on generating, like, you're still going to have to work and stuff because you can't just, fucking sit there.
If you watch The Expanse, you can just sit there and play Xbox, especially when the WEF tells you that you're gonna own nothing and be happy.
But there are going to be people in our society that will accept that, and then there will be other people who are just driven by an innate drive within themselves.
So before we wrap it up, I just want to point out
that's okay.
According to AI, there's this 16 Psyche is an asteroid. That's a weird name for it, but 16 Psyche. And it's estimated to have the value between 10 and $700 quintillion, which it has enough gold for everyone on Earth to receive $93 billion. Everyone on Earth to be a 93 billionaire based on the gold.
But how much does it cost to get to that point, right? So it's going to cost everyone on Earth probably $90 billion.
It's not going to cost a quintillion dollars. No, I'll tell you right now.
So we'll each net like $3 billion in profit. Okay, that's pretty cool with me.
Yeah,
so I see this meme.
Elon's aim is to break the monetary system and free humanity.
Well, I mean, Star Trek showed that,
so that I can go out and plant plants for people, because that's like my passion.
That's what you like to do. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're gonna have to stay busy. We need like purpose in life.
But what's the ultimate incentive is money. So you have to like.
But Star Trek shows that we can find a new incentive. Whether that's everyone gets a podcast and we all talk about shit, with we're all 93 billionaires, so we can afford HBO and their $100,000 a month membership fees. I don't know.
That's what he does. He just sits right in the middle of the screen.
That's what cats do. Cats are assholes.
Pay attention to me.
Which is a great time to say goodbye. Thank you so much. Sorry, this tangent.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
So hard, but we really appreciate you sticking around. If you did, I mean, obviously did. If you're hearing the sound of my voice right now, make sure to comment down below. Tell us what you think about the episode. Tell us what you think about the show. If you have any feedback for the podcast, we'd love to hear it. And go fuck yourself. I'm kidding. Love you guys.
And I also disclaimer. I probably sound like an idiot because complex or ideas are very difficult.
No, it's good to blue sky. And
if I wrote about it, it would be a little bit more detailed. So.
The Rayburn manifesto. Oh wait, edit it out.
No manifestos here.
Free people so that we can.
Sorry, guys.
Anarcho-capitalism.
For humanity.
Yeah, no. This podcast is too white for any manifesto. I apologize.
Speak for yourself.
You'll have to have memos. Memos for all of us.
So, thanks for listening, everyone. Really appreciate you sticking with us. You've been listening to us since the beginning.
And we'll see you next time.
I'm Forrest. Yeah, I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
I'm Robby.
I'm Tip.
Matt is apparently still here for some odd reason.
Just like old times. I guess next week maybe Dune Prophecy. Hey, or maybe we can do something like an old movie or show like Yojimbo. Who knows? Possibilities are endless.
I've never heard that, so probably not that. But
now that means we can all review it now. It'll be new to you.
Oh, there you go.
It's on Max. Right. It's on Max. It's on HBO Max.
You guys heard it here first. Sorry. Terminator 2 review next week.
Yojimbo.
Hey, so I saw this. See this meme.
2, Judgment Day.
Peak players in Dragon Age Veilguard 89,000, and then Farming Sim 25 that just came out 126,000.
Not good.
Okay, that's a little bit more.